Thank you, Dr. Grossman. So our next guest, I've got a write-up here, but I got to say the first thing I'm most impressed about is, and if everyone could really just give her a round of applause for this, Lauren Humphries just completed a marathon Sunday for lung cancer. Is that amazing? So congratulations on that. I am really impressed. So Lauren became a lung cancer advocate in 2011 when her uncle was diagnosed with lung cancer, and she is Longevity's digital community manager. She manages private Facebook groups and the lung cancer support community. As a member of the support and survivorship team, she helps manage International Lung Cancer Survivorship Conference, the Regional Hope Summits, and Longevity Lunch and Learn. I attend, sorry, but Hilda, you had moved this slide over a little bit, so it's on the longevity one, but yeah, but that's okay. It was on yours for part of the time, but at any rate, you know, and I'm just going to take a moment because Hilda didn't use all of her 28 seconds, but the collaboration amongst these, you know, like Chris Draft, he came to our support group in Charlotte last month. He's coming to our support group in High Point, North Carolina, next week. And I mean, he has brought me to events, and he is just awesome. You know, and Hildy, she's very inclusive, and she's working this, getting funding, working with Longevity to fund lung cancer research, early detection. Longevity, I go to a lot of their events. I mean, it's just such a spirit of collaboration. It's just wonderful. And I just want to say that I don't think you're going to see this in a lot of other advocacy groups that are maybe viewed as competitors. We're collaborators here, and it's just a beautiful thing. But Longevity is a good example of that, and Lauren is here as a representative of Longevity. Thank you very much, Lauren. If you would please, you could just stay there, please, and your time starts.
So I don't know what's going to be more of a challenge running the marathon or filling in for Andrea Ferris today, but I will certainly give it my best. And thank you for having me. It's quite an honor to be here with such esteemed other panelists. And as Dusty said, you know, collaboration is really going to be the key to driving progress forward. So a couple of the talking points that they'd recommended were what would our wish list look like for 2025? If we could imagine what will the science and what will the advocacy look like? You know, my dream would be that lung cancer is seen more as a chronic condition, that there's an increase in early detection, some of what Hildy spoke about already, some more non-invasive treatments that can catch the disease when it is most treatable, and identifying who is at high risk, not only for recurrence, but also catching people who are potentially low risk and finding the lung cancer early so that they can get better treatments at the right time. Also that we're able to build on the success of immunotherapy, that there's new approaches and better combination therapies and knowing the right sequences so that you know, people can live longer and live better once they're diagnosed. That also we have better ways to overcome resistance. Unfortunately, as we know, on targeted therapies, people can still develop resistance, as many of you my family was personally affected by lung cancer when my uncle was diagnosed. We were incredibly fortunate with the timing of his diagnosis, that it was in 2011 when he was able to get biomarker testing. He is ALK positive, and Xalkori had just been approved shortly after his diagnosis, so he was able to start that pretty quickly. And you know, now we're just playing the game of, you know, what's next before he develops resistance, what is in the pipeline. Also in 2025, we hope that clinical trials are more inclusive. I'll speak about that a bit more in depth in just a few minutes, but that Longevity is working to expand eligibility criteria so that more people have access to these trials and can get the treatment that they need. In addition, that there is greater access to biomarker testing, that people are aware that biomarker testing is an option and that there are treatments available. And an increase in the collaboration that Dusty mentioned, that, you know, with greater investment from all of the organizations and all of the advocates, we're going to see greater impact. On the advocacy side, in 2025, which is also the year I turned 40, I hope that there is greater awareness and understanding among the general public. As Kimberly mentioned, I think we're going to get a lot of mileage out of this survey because it is really disturbing to think that 94% of people are unaware that lung cancer is the #1 cancer killer. And not only during November Lung Cancer Awareness Month, but year-round, we need to keep working to change that general public's perception that people recognize that anyone can get lung cancer. It is not a self-inflicted disease. It is not that there's less blame, that we can eradicate stigma. That people understand the importance of early detection and why we are trying so desperately to raise funds for additional research, and that lung cancer is a national priority. If it takes more lives than the next top 3 cancers combined, then why doesn't it have at least 3 times as much funding as those cancers? And also important at this another important thing that I hope in 2025 is that the patient voice remains at the center of advocacy, that the lived experience of people who have lung cancer, who are navigating the lung cancer diagnosis, that their voices are being heard, that we can certainly mobilize around them and lift them up and support them and magnify their voices, but they are the most important players. Talking a bit about the importance of research. Research saves lives. So when they'd asked what's more important, research, early detection, advocacy, I really think that's like a chicken and an egg type of question. Research is what ultimately keeps people living longer and living better with lung cancer, and the strategic investment ensures that lung cancer patients have the same promise that breast, prostate, and colorectal patients have, that their cancer is found earlier, they have better treatments, they have higher quality of life, and that they have better chance of survival. So how do we get there? That should be an easy question, but it's a loaded one. And I think that the best answer for that is impactful research. So research that is patient-centered, research that drives the science, and research that is sustainable. And through partnerships and collaborations, like we talked about, Longevity works with Stand Up to Cancer, American Lung Association, Upstage Lung Cancer, many others. And I think that that's really our best chance of seeing success.